What's good, guys? It's Cam, and I'm here with another video. So by the thumbnail, by the title of the video, you guys know what this is about. Sports media isn't real. It's fake. Now, I may have to delete the video or amend the title maybe in the next few weeks or in the next few years, because obviously, if you know me, sports media is my passion. Passion. It's what I want to do for the rest of my life. It's just what I want to do. Media in general, content creation, stuff like that, and sports media is definitely a big part of that. And I'm going to college to hopefully get a job in media somewhere, so I may have to amend this title. Maybe I might have to delete it. So if you see this video, just know you're probably within a limited amount of people, because I don't know if I'm gonna have to delete it. Anyway, the main topic of today's video is I just want to shed a little light on sports media in general. I just want to shed a little light on how I feel about sports media and how I think sports media, or what I think sports media is used for in some cases, okay? Now, I don't have a script for this. Hold up, my man is texting me right now. Let's just mute that. But the main thing I want to talk about is basically this. The picture on the screen right now. Nick Wright is a sports media commentator. Like many of us in this industry, I guess. I'll put myself in the industry, okay? Fuck it. I'm in this industry, okay? But he's a sports commentator, right? And he put out this list about 17 players better than Jason Tatum, right? Now, I want to just preface this by saying I'm not going to be talking about the list. I'm not going to be talking about the list that he made, because that's what he wants us to do. If you're a Celtics fan, if you're a Boston fan, and you saw that on Twitter, I pray that you didn't take it seriously. I pray that you just kept it pushing, went along with your day, probably just went for a run, went to the gym, right? Just went along with your day. I know there is plenty of sports fans and plenty of Celtics fans like myself. I can't even lie. When I first saw this, my first reaction was I got to get on the mic and I have to tear into this guy. I got to go after him. I got to argue with them, stuff like that. But look, now I gave myself a day. I slept on it. I didn't get much sleep last night, though. I was very excited to make this video. So what I basically wanted to say, I'm not going to talk about the list in general. The list, I don't give a fuck about it, really. Really, what I'm talking about is why he made that list, and other sports commentators who make lists like that to gain, clicks and stuff like that. So that's what I'm talking about in today's video. I could give a fuck about what this guy thinks about Jason Tatum. I think we all can agree that Jason Tatum is one of the best players in the Eastern Conference right now, and he's going to be one of the best players in the world, quite frankly, over the next 10 years. But that's for another day. I'm a Celtics fan, obviously. What I want to talk about is just biases, like clear biases in sports media, and that goes as well for sports media commentators. I'll start off by myself and just completely admit, put it out in the blue. If you guys are new or you've been living under a rock listening to my podcast, I have complete and utter disdain for the Philadelphia 76ers organization, okay? I don't like them. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like the New York Yankees. And I had my discretions about Ben Simmons last year, okay? So I'm putting that out there. I'm being honest. Those are my teams I don't like. And obviously, you guys know I'm a Red Sox fan, Celtics fan, Patriots fan. Like, those are my teams. And I have biases towards those teams because I'm from Rhode Island, because I'm from New England, right? And most likely, everyone you see on TV talking about how they feel about this team, how they feel about that team, how they feel about this player is just based on where they're from and their own perspectives on how they lived and how they grew up. You guys obviously know, or maybe you don't know, that most of sports media and not most, every single thing that you see on TV, whether it's Skip and Shannon, Colin Cowherd, First Take, ESPN, all scripted, right? All scripted. And you probably already knew that, right? I'm not giving you new information. You probably already knew that. But just from taking classes in media studies and production and just looking at how it actually works in the newsroom, everything is scripted. There's nothing that's not planned for TV. And especially when you have every single day broadcasts like Skip and Shannon, First Take, and Colin Cowherd, they have to continually spin narratives and continually have stories where Skip is on one side, Shannon's on the other. and vice versa on First Take. Stephen A takes a side. Sometimes they have Dan Orlovsky. Sometimes they have other people come on as well. The main thing I want to say is just like, if you're a regular fan, if you're a regular person scrolling Twitter, scrolling Instagram, just about 99%. Now that's a egregious number, yes, maybe even hyperbolic number. I just threw out there. I'm willing to bet that 99% of what you see on Twitter, where it comes from sports media, not news. I'm saying when it like news, like talking about injuries, points per game, like that's undisputed facts, right? When people are discussing, oh, this player is better than this player on these standards and this and that, it's almost stupid to even get in the Twitter thread and argue. Why would you even get in the thread and argue about that? I would continually just move on my day, whatever. When I saw this Nick Wright thing about Jason Tatum, I was fuming. I was mad. I was actually angry that he made a list like that. I was actually genuinely angry, and I wanted to, run the ones with him. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to run the ones with him. But I took a day, relaxed, and realized that man is just doing it for clicks. The same way that Skip Bayless hates LeBron, the same way that Stephen A. Smith hates the Cowboys and loves the Knicks, and the same way that Shannon Sharp loves LeBron and hates certain teams. Like, everybody has their own bias. So before you get on your little burner Twitter account with Sasuke in the profile picture, or fucking Wally the Green Monster in your profile picture, right? Before you get on your burner account and hop in the threads and just argue, I just want you to know that they did that for that reason. They put that story out because they knew there would be Boston fans mad, and they would watch the videos on YouTube, they'd see the Twitter stuff, and they'd respond, and they'd create even more drama and even more press about a situation. Nick Wright may have disdain toward Jason Tatum in some way. I don't know why. He's literally a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I would assume he's, probably close within the St. Louis area. Why would you hate a person from around your area? It makes no sense to me. I don't understand that. And anybody claiming they are an unbiased sports journalist or sports commentator is wrong. Unless you're this motherfucker, Joe Buck, or unless you're Jim Nantz and these like ultra bot like announcers who are basically just there to mediate something or to just have a monotone voice. Joe Buck never gives his opinion on anything. Jim Nantz never gives his actual opinion on something because they're supposed to be the moderates, essentially. They're supposed to be like, when there's a presidential debate, they're supposed to be the ones who are asking the questions, not giving their opinion, ever. I've never heard Joe Buck or Jim Nantz or any syndicated national announcer or national broadcaster actually give their opinion, right? And when you watch SportsCenter, when you watch, like, SportsCenter is different, I think, because SportsCenter, it's scripted. They have their scripts. It's news based, not really talking about narratives. The anchors on there, they do their job. They write the scripts. They just present the packages and all that. That's fine, because most of the time they're not telling you, oh, this team sucks, oh, this team's good. No. They're literally giving you the highlights and giving you the stats, which is exactly what a sports fan like me wants. I don't really care how many times you spin a narrative, because no matter how many times you say something, I'm not going to just blindly agree. I'm not just going to, oh, Stephen A. Smith said that, oh yeah, let me just agree. No, because now I know how it works. I know that most of the opinions that Stephen A. Smith gets, I'm naming names. I probably shouldn't be naming names, but I'm just naming names because I want to, have a face to the cause I'm talking about right now. And there's plenty of people out there who don't like to watch political shows like Fox News or CNN because they believe it's too opinionated, right? They believe, oh, they're just only supporting this side because they're a Republican, or they're supporting this side because they're a Democrat, this and that, right? It's the same shit. It's the same thing. Literally anybody you see on national television, they're not exactly playing a character, but they're playing a role for the station. Okay, you know what I mean? They're playing a position. The reason that Skip Bayless is on with Shannon Sharp is because they debate every single day. They wake up at 4 a.m., get there, debate for 3 hours, watch some games, come back at it again. There's no way you can have a show and there's no way that show cannot be scripted. Let's be honest. How can that not be scripted? You tell Skip, you take this side, tell Shannon, you take that side. It's very easy, very obvious. And I'm not here trying to expose the whole sports media industry. Everybody knows this. I'm not just coming out here spitting nonsense, okay? Everybody knows what it is. Sports media and sports commentary is basically turning into the WWE. Like it's a scripted. It's not. It's part of it is scripted. Like the thing that I'm doing right now is not scripted. I'm talking out of my ass, saying whatever I feel is right for the situation. But obviously, if you're on ESPN, if you're on Fox Sports, you need a script. You need to have some sort of way of conveying your message in a good way, not just me rambling for 30 minutes, right? It makes sense to have scripts. It definitely makes sense. But when those scripts also coincide with your inherent bias about a player or a team, that's damaging to not only like people watching, but like when I was younger personally, and I guarantee that plenty of people who were just like me, when I was younger, I thought all that was real. I thought all Stephen A. Smith, he really believes in that. Oh, Skip Bayless, they really believe in that, right? And having more classes and having just a little more experience of how it actually works behind the scenes, I came to realize that a lot of that stuff is not organic. It's just not real. Not to say that it's bad television, but from my perspective, seeing the behind the scenes, seeing how it actually operates, it makes it a little less fun to watch it. And I have a little bit of a critical mind when I watch it now, because I know that it's scripted. I know that whenever Nick Wright puts out a list of players better than Tatum, he's looking for Boston fans to get in his comment section and talk to him. He's looking for people to engage with his content. You see the same thing on YouTube, on Twitter. You just see people post clickbaits, right? You know what a clickbait is. Like David Dobrik with the clickbait hoodies in 2017, whatever, right? Like, people do this on YouTube all the time. What I'm doing right now could be considered clickbait. Having the title "Sports Media is Fake." That could be clickbait, right? Oh, everyone could go up in arms. Oh, is sport media fake? Oh, this and that, right? What you see on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I don't care what social media you use, there's so much clickbait and so much just noise, right? Covering over the stuff you actually want to know. And most of the time, you don't even get to see that stuff until you scroll endlessly past all the noise. Boston fans, Sixers fans, any fan of a sports team, listen up right now. If you watch ESPN and you get genuinely angry at Stephen A. Smith, or you watch some other network and see another sports commentator say something about your team in a negative way, don't hop on Twitter and don't at the show. Because what are you doing? You're just giving them more attention, and you're giving them more of your you're giving them more of their support. Even if you're not outright saying you love that show, by saying that you watched it, that's support in my opinion. If you didn't care, you wouldn't watch it. Okay, or if you didn't care, you wouldn't respond. So in most cases, it's better to just be quiet and let people fight in the Twitter threads, because if they're fighting in a Twitter thread, they're bored as hell and they have nothing to do, bro. They're just looking for somebody to talk to. And it's sad, but it's completely honest. If you see somebody in a Twitter thread writing paragraphs on top of paragraphs about a player and about how he's getting disrespected by the media, this and that, you got to move on, buddy. You got to move on. You can't respond to that man or girl or Sasuke profile picture or Naruto, right? Like, you just don't respond. Move on. And Nick Wright, like, he did that for clicks. He did it for clicks. I don't know if he actually believes Tatum is worse than, or is I don't think he actually believes that there's 18 players better than Tatum in the NBA. I don't know if he thinks that. But based on his list, he basically had 4 players or 3 players who are injured right now. Put Jimmy Butler above him. Look, I said I wasn't going to get into it. I said I wasn't going to talk about the list. I don't want to give him any more of my attention. I just want to say that what he did was clickbait. He's not going to admit to it. He's had takes like that have been outlandish from ever since I started watching Fox Sports, seeing Colin Cowherd. A lot of his takes are outlandish. But that's fine. I have a lot of outlandish takes too. And I'm sure that there's somebody around the corner at Temple or in North Philadelphia who's doing the same thing. probably just spewing their own takes and stuff like that, and it's fine. Everyone can have their own opinion. But when you post something and you're looking for a reaction, that's just that's not being a journalist or being a sports commentator. That's somebody looking for attention. That's somebody who just wants a response. For me, when I make these videos, I make them more as a way to just, do what I love to do what I want to do. I don't really care about people responding to my stuff, even though I don't really get that many responses, negative responses, might I add, but I just do it because it's just fun. I don't do it for clicks, whatever. But when you work for a company like that, Fox Sports, ESPN, and I mean, you're going to have to do things for clicks. You're going to have to. And as I'm realizing that in college, like, this podcast, the way I talk on the podcast, the way I speak, the way I give my opinion is not really how it is in the real world. And being honest with myself, I definitely could see myself being, 2 years ago or before I got into college, I literally thought that my dream was to be an anchor, to be on ESPN. Isn't that every kid's dream though? To be on ESPN, to be on a sports show talking about, games and highlights, stuff like that. I would want to be that. But I realized that, like, that's cool and all. I definitely respect anybody going into that. That's a very hard field. A lot of my friends who are in the TV studios, they got a lot of work to do. So it's respectable. But I don't want to be somebody like Stephen A. Smith. I don't want to be like Stephen A. Smith. I used to say that he was my, he was somebody I wanted to be like, or Colin Cowherd was somebody I wanted to be like, but I don't want to be like them. I just want to be myself. And if I can be myself on camera for a company, that's what I want. I don't really have scripts when I make these podcasts. I feel like sometimes scripts might limit me, the way I talk. But hey, if I'm getting a check for X amount of money, and that amount of money is able to have me survive for a good amount of time, then I might have to do it. There's no other choice, right? I can't just be hold a grudge to sports media because I just don't want to abide by a script. Like, in all honesty, I'm gonna have to probably do it. I'm gonna have to shave my my Boston biases down, probably shave my negativity down a lot, but I think it'll be fine. I would just want to say that a lot of sports, almost everything you see on a commentating show is scripted, and they do it to rile you up. The same way that Fox News and CNN have stories that rile people up is the same thing they do in sports. So sports and politics are not far off one bit. They are exactly the same. The same way you take sides about being a Democrat and being a Republican, the same way, like I mentioned in December, is the same way people can attach themselves to a brand or attach themselves to the Red Sox versus the Yankees. Like, basically that's what it is. It's what it's become. If you're a Red Sox fan, you have to hate the Yankees. Because if you don't hate the Yankees, are you even a Red Sox fan? Same way, if you're a Democrat, you got to hate the Republicans. Oh, if you don't hate the Republicans, are you really a Democrat? This and that stuff. Like, that's what I hear. That's what I hear in college. That's what I experience. And people are going to say, oh, it's not like that. It's not like that. We're open to everyone's ideas. Quite frankly, no, that's not true. That's not true. I could be the most unbiased person in the world, or I could be the most, I could have the best ability to take someone else's side and understand it, right? But still, I'm going to have that bias in my head of what I really believe, and that's going to come through more. So I went on a little bit of a tangent on that last part. Basically, video's ending. All I wanted to say, sports media is fake. It's fake. And if you see a controversial take by a random reporter or commentator, that's on purpose. They did it for a purpose. They didn't just do it because that's how they feel. They did it because they want a response. So the next time you see this idiot put a list out, instead of responding to him, just do what I do. Just do what I'm doing right now. Just talk about how dumb he looks. Stupid motherfucker. Anyway. That's the end of the podcast, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, sports media is fake. I probably will have to delete this video soon though. But Peace out.